Good afternoon. My name is Claire Clark and I am from Dynam. We are supporting Highlands and Islands Enterprise to deliver this event today. It's great to have you all with us for this next session in our NEXUS webinar series. A very warm welcome to you all. Before I pass you over to Andrea McCall from HIE, I'd just like to spend a minute explaining how we will run today's webinar. As an audience member, you are automatically muted, but we do have a couple of ways for you to get actively involved. You can use your question box at any point throughout the webinar, and we will pick up as many as we can during the Q&A. You'll also see an icon called the raised hand icon, and during question time, if you've got a mic and you want us to take you off mute so you can speak directly to us, then just click on the icon and we'll get you connected. And finally, we always want to promote knowledge sharing and collaboration, so we do record every session. We will, of course, share the recording after the event, so you can watch again or share with anyone else you think may be interested. That's all from me just now. I'll pass you over to Andrea, who will introduce today's speaker. Over to you, Andrea.
Hi, thank you, Claire. Thanks for the introduction. Yes, I just wanted to welcome you all to today's webinar. I'm Andrea McCall from the Life Sciences team at HIE in Inverness. And I just wanted to give you an idea about what the webinar series is all about. So the NEXUS webinars are an opportunity to find out more about what is going on in our life sciences, health and technology community and make new connections. And in case you don't know, NEXUS is our co-working suite in Solaster House on Inverness campus, where we have a range of life sciences and technology companies co-locating and collaborating. And NEXUS is funded by the Inverness and Highlands City Region Deal and ERDF. And today I'm delighted to welcome Dr. Emma Robertson, a colleague of mine. She's project manager at the Science Skills Academy, a STEM education program for children in Highland. And she will tell us a little bit more about the Science Skills Academy and how businesses can get involved to inspire a future generation of STEM professionals. And it's a topic very close to my heart because I'm actually a STEM ambassador myself. Just handing over to Emma now though, and she will take us through her slides and a couple of videos as well, which I think are very, very nice videos. So looking forward to that. Over to you, Emma.
Thank you very much, Andrea, and the NEXUS programme for inviting me to speak about our project today. So in this session, I'm going to introduce the Science Skills Academy and the work that we've done to date with school pupils across Highlands. I will describe some of the interactions that we've had with employers and academics across the region and how they've supported our programme. And finally, I'll let you know how you or your business or organisation can follow us and potentially become involved with the Science Skills Academy. So the concept of the Science Skills Academy, it was actually born out of discussions that were way back in 2014. And these were championed by the MP Drew Henry back in the day when he was the leader of the Highland Council. So his vision at the time was to support the creation of a strong STEM skills base for the region to meet with its growing aspirations in sectors such as renewable energy, life sciences, and high-value manufacturing. So the idea of the Science Skills Academy developed over time, and it brought together key regional partners to discuss and develop our thinking as to the best solution to meet this challenge. And in March 2017, the Science Skills Academy was successful in gaining £3 million funding from the Inverness and Highlands City Region Deal, and our funding is coming from the Scottish Government stream. The 4 original project partners have since been joined by HighLife Highland and NHS Highland, and although the project is led by High, it's very much a multi-partnership project, and this approach has worked really well as it brings all of the partners are able to bring their own strengths and experiences to the projects. So the Science Skills Academy, it's an education programme that delivers STEM activities to schools from across the Highland Council region. We want to encourage more young people to study STEM subjects at school and beyond. have the skills to enter employment in the STEM sectors, and just as importantly, to raise awareness of the STEM-related careers, particularly those in the Highlands and Islands. So our target audiences are P6 and P7 and S1 and S2 pupils. So that's approximately 10 to 14-year-olds. And we identified these target age groups because various studies have shown that that period between 10 to 14 is a critical time for the development of a young person's attitude towards STEM. And it's been seen that as a child gets older, their enthusiasm and interest in STEM decreases. So the Science Skills Academy interacts with young people before they pick their subjects at secondary school with a hope to increase their interest in studying STEM. The goals of the Science Skills Academy are to provide an equitable STEM provision across the region, to raise awareness of STEM sectors and STEM pathways, both in general and in particular those in the Highlands and Islands, and to attract STEM experts and other STEM deliverers to the region. So in order to do this, the Science Skills Academy has established the Highland Newton Room Network. And our city region deal funding means that we're currently focusing on the Highland Council region, but it is our ambition to introduce the project across the whole of the Highlands and Islands. And we are progressing discussions with Shetland and the Western Isles, for example. So the Newton Room infrastructure, it's a key part of the Science Skills Academy because it provides modern, bright, stimulating settings where a whole school class comes for a whole day's worth of activity. So the Newton Rooms, as you can see from the photographs, these are taken from our Fort William and Thurso rooms. They consist of a main teaching room that's set into workstations, and this is to encourage group work from the classes. There's a laboratory, and there's also an auditorium, which is a distraction-free room that really encourages focus, and it also provides the opportunity for group discussions. Each of our Newton rooms, it has its own dedicated staff member for that room, and our delivery team come from a wide range of STEM backgrounds and teaching backgrounds. So we have already launched our Newton rooms in Fort William, Thurso, Dingwall. We have an interim room in Inverness, which is at Unlochrin on Inverness campus. This is an interim room, and it is our ambition to locate a new build bespoke facility on campus. And we're also right now in the process of trialling a pop-up Newton room to deliver to schools in Skye and Lochash. So this option will bring the same high quality furnishings, equipment and activities to remote and rural schools. Therefore, it's embedding Newton into the hearts of the communities. So just to show you how we go about giving our equal provision of STEM across the region, the map that I'm showing here has a dot that represents each Highland Council school across the region. So there's more than 270 schools, and these are distributed across more than 31,000 square kilometres. So it's a significant challenge to maintain an equal provision to all pupils across the region. At the Science Skills Academy, we have established our Newton Room network throughout the region, so as we're ensuring that every P6 to S2 pupil from every primary school and secondary school in the region gets an opportunity to come to one of our Newton rooms. We pick the specific locations for the rooms to ensure that the vast majority of schools don't have to travel anything more than an hour to get to a Newton room. So our project ensures that every school in Highland, no matter its size, no matter how remote or rural or difficult to access, gets an equal provision of STEM from our programme. And we also actively encourage other STEM providers and experts to use this network to interact with all of the schools across the region. So I've mentioned a few times that our project wants to raise awareness of STEM careers and STEM pathways. I am sure that many people on this seminar are aware that the Highlands and Islands are at the forefront of STEM industrial applications and research, such as renewables, offshore wind, aquaculture, and more recently, spaceports. So it's vital for our young people in the region to be made aware not just of STEM in general, but of STEM careers in this area. Like many rural areas across the world, the Highlands and Islands sees a significant amount of outmigration of its young people. So our project wants to raise awareness of the wide variety of STEM careers that are available right here in our region. And it is important that we don't just provide this information to the young people that come to the meeting rooms, but also to their school teachers, guidance teachers, and just as importantly, to their parents. So to go back to what we deliver at our Newton rooms, these are called Newton modules. So they're full day sessions that allows the whole class to come along and participate in hands-on activities. These are tailored to complement the curricula for excellence and also reflect the important STEM sectors that are relevant to the Highlands and Islands. So the activities, they are designed to be multidisciplinary, to promote teamwork and to include problem solving. And the benefit of this project being led by Highlands and Islands Enterprise is that we are able to use our knowledge of the Highlands and Islands and help align these educational materials and educational outcomes of our Newton modules with the STEM requirements for the region. So the Newton modules that we are either delivering or developing right now include robotics and mathematics, health science, so this is looking at the digestive system, respiratory system, and lymphatic system, and also salmon and aquaculture, so we're looking at both the freshwater fisheries as well as the aquaculture side. So that's what we're going to be delivering to our primary pupils. For the secondaries, it's renewable energy, including wind and water, biofuel, so this is looking at the life sciences sector. We're developing an activity on the space sector, so specifically rockets and satellites, and also climate emergency and peatlands. So the project engages with employers in a range of ways. So for example, we've worked with local STEM employers to shape our Newton module activities so that these activities that we're delivering to the children actually incorporate skills or real life applications from the STEM sectors. We are working on flyers in collaboration with Skills Development Scotland, who are one of our project partners. And these marketing materials will go into detail on the wide variety of career pathways that are linked to our module. So for example, a child may come along and study our energy module, and they'll go home with a leaflet that will contain not just the obvious STEM careers linked to renewables, but the whole wide range of careers that are linked to this sector, and including the various pathways that you can follow to get into these careers, whether it's apprenticeships, further education, higher education. And the target audience for these materials, it's not just for the pupils. This is where we'll be wanting the teachers, guidance teachers, and parents to also get access to these materials. And to complement our modules that we're delivering, we've created a series of films that highlight the STEM sectors that are key to the region, as well as STEM employers. So we've got 7 of these films that we have developed. So I just want to give an example or a few examples of how we have engaged with employers. So the images that you see here are from our climate emergency and peatlands activity. So this is a relatively new activity that we actually developed in response to COVID. Obviously, COVID had a massive impact on our face-to-face interacting with children. There wasn't a lot for a long period of time. But then in response to the Scottish Government's push to take education outdoors, we developed this outdoor module. So it's a 100-minute module, and it focuses on peatlands. So it's helping pupils recognise and appreciate our local peatlands. One of the world's largest is up in the Flow Country in Sutherlands. They learn about carbon capture and how this carbon capture in peatlands is critical to addressing climate change. And they also do plant identification. So we're delivering this now, as well as being a response to outdoor education. It is also part of our response to COP26. So this is raising awareness of all young people in Highland of COP26 and what it is. So for this module, we worked with a master's student from SAGES, which is the Scottish Alliance for Geoscience, Environment and Society. So this master's student had a lot of experience working in peatlands, and he helped us to create this 100-minute activity. We got the activity developed, and then we worked closely with the Environmental Research Institute, which is based up in North Highland College in Thurso. And there, Professor Roxanne Anderson has got a lab that focuses on peatlands. So by taking it to these experts, we were able to get our activity quality assured, and we knew that we were taking a really relevant, up-to-date activity to all of our pupils. This was for secondary school pupils. An example of something that we've done with primaries is health science. So you can see here it was the respiratory system and lymphatics and digestive system. So this activity was developed in-house. It was two of our delivery team developed this during lockdown. But we were able to work with NHS Highland, who again looked at our module and quality assured it to make sure that what we were teaching was relevant and correct. And NHS Highland were fantastic. They helped us create learning materials for during the session as well. So the middle picture here, the sort of cartoon, is actually a cartoon that's based off a real NHS Highland GP and a real patient. So the animation that we've created goes between animation and real footage of these doctors. So it was about diagnosing a patient and telling pupils that when you think of health science, it's not necessarily just doctors and nurses. We took them on the whole journey of all of the other things that go on in a hospital that you might not be aware of, the various laboratories, for example. We also had Nada, so the picture at the bottom. Nada is a foundation year 2 doctor, and she was part of our sectoral health sciences sectoral video and our careers videos. So I'm going to show you a couple of these videos now. So the longer sectoral videos that we have, we've got 7 of these, and this is promoting a range of careers within a sector. What we wanted to do was raise awareness of careers that you may not automatically think are linked to health sciences. For example, you could be a computer scientist but still be in the health science sector. We also wanted to promote equality, so we have very enthusiastic young female engineers from manufacturing lines. So I am going to hopefully play our first film for you.
Hi everyone, it's Ines. Today we're going to be learning about health sciences. Let's go. When you study STEM subjects at school, going into a health science job is one of the options that might appeal to you. As the name suggests, health science is science which deals with human and animal health. We all know what doctors, vets and nurses are, but health science is much wider than that. There are also a huge variety of jobs in research which aim to improve our health, cure diseases and get a better understanding of how humans and animals work. First off, I went to meet Nada at the Centre for Health Science in Inverness to find out what it's like being a recently qualified doctor. So tell me a little bit about what you do.
I'm what's called a foundation year 2 doctor at the moment, so I'm in my 2nd year after finishing university. And basically my current job is a teaching job, so I get to do quite a lot of teaching for medical students in particular. But we rotate every 4 months or so, so I've had quite a few different jobs over the last 2 years. Mostly in hospital, but also in GP as well, and in a rural hospital too.
What would you say is your favourite part about what you do?
The field is always changing, so there's a lot of learning to do and always new things to find out. And the other thing that I probably enjoy the most about my job is chatting to people, you know, hearing about people's lives and trying in some way to make them feel better. I find that really rewarding. You're trying to fix people, you're trying to make them better, and you're trying to save people's lives at the end of the day.
The Highlands and Islands is an enormous area with only a limited number of hospitals, so we need to find new ways to help people who might not be near a hospital or be able to get to one easily. I heard about an interesting new technology that has been developed at Corporate Health International on the Inverness campus.
The only thing that's relatable to the pill cam to see your insides is a colonoscopy. You basically have to get something either put up you or put down you. That can be quite uncomfortable for the patient. Going through that procedure is the cost towards the NHS. Currently, I think it's around 60% of colonoscopies require no further action. So basically 60% of these people we only need to have a look at. So why not have a capsule? It is more comfortable for the patient, and in the long run it actually works out cheaper for the capsule as a procedure as a whole than a colonoscopy. Whatever the capsule is recording is transmitted in real time to the recorder, and then after the capsule comes out, you would plug the recorder into the computer, and then you'd compile a video from what the capsule's seen. And from there, we have readers who look at these videos and go through the video, and they will mark anything that has been found on the capsule. It doesn't really feel like a job, it feels like a big project, because you're trying to do something that's never been done before.
We've only talked to a couple of people who work in health sciences, but it shows how varied the jobs in the sector are. And remember, we have only talked to people involved in human life sciences. There's a whole other group of people working on animal health. If it's an area that interests you, whether it's treating people or animals or investigating diseases and illness, then health sciences could be the way to go after school, college or uni.
So that is just one of the 7 sectoral videos that we've created, and what we do is show the students this, or we ask the school teachers to show the students this film before they come to the Newton room, so it's setting the scene as to what they're doing during the day, and then we show it to them again whilst they're at the room. And again, it's just to start sparking ideas of the kinds of things that you could study in a certain field and study or work in, sorry. And so these films, along with the marketing materials with SDS that we're creating, should hopefully really give a good idea for that wide range of potential careers that there are in the Highlands and Islands. All of our films have been filmed in STEM employers in the Highlands and Islands. So the second film I'm going to show you is a very short clip. It's a short social media clip of a longer film. And this is one of 18 films that we have where the people like Nada, who you saw in the health science film, or Reese, we talk to them a little bit longer and we find out a bit more about their pathways. What did they do at school? What did they enjoy doing? What did they not enjoy doing? And how did they get into the job that they're in now? So again, this is a short version of the film, but it's just to give you an idea.
Fishery boards protect both the wild fish stocks, but also the communities that rely on the fishing. My role is incredibly varied, no 2 days are the same. Having a good sort of background in the science subjects, biology, chemistry, physics, all of them are really relevant in their own way. I wouldn't say one is more important than the other. Maths is pretty good when it comes to the statistics. It's definitely a rewarding job.
So again, this is one of 18 films that we've created looking at STEM sectors, and it's been really interesting filming these employees because it really shows the really wide range of pathways into these jobs. We've had people who like Roxanne, she did a degree, a PhD, and is now a professor. We've got people that have gone into further or higher education. We've got some people who did apprenticeships. We've got some people who didn't do hires at school, but still got into these fantastic STEM careers. So again, it's highlighting to students that there's so many different ways to get into these jobs. So here we go. So now, how can you get involved? There's a lot of different ways that you could get involved with our project. One of the simplest ways is following us on social media. So we're on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and our handle is SSA STEM. And we very regularly promote our own programs, whether we're doing what Newton modules we're doing, what schools we've visited during the week. But we do also promote other STEM delivers, both locally, regionally, nationally, anything that we think might be of interest to our local school pupils and school teachers. We also encourage people to use the hashtag STEMNorth. Various partners that we work with, we ask to use this. Again, it's just an easy way for school teachers to be able to follow STEM activity in the region. We have also just recently redeveloped our website, so scienceskillsacademy.co.uk. And we're still adding more and more to it, but you'll find out a bit more about the modules that we're delivering, as well as links to these films. We're going to be getting all of them loaded on in the very near future, but there are some of those films on there just now. There's also a page on our website for the Highlands and Islands Regional STEM Partnership. And this is a partnership that came out of the Scottish Government STEM strategy, where they are wanting all of the regions across Scotland within the region to start aligning their STEM delivery. So there's a lot of the STEM partners and STEM delivers from across the Highlands and Islands. So if you're, for example, looking for what's going on in Shetland or in Perth, you would be able to go onto that website and that part of our website and get a bit more information. We would love you to contact us. My email address is there. So if you think you've got the academic or industrial expertise to help us shape Newton modules, Newton activities, or quality assure the activities that we're delivering and developing, and we would love to hear from you. We're also considering making more of these STEM films because I think they're really, really valuable assets for us to have. So again, the more local STEM employers that we can find out about, the better. And it's not just us. I'd like to also, as Andrea said at the beginning, talk about the STEM Ambassador Network. So across the UK, there's this National STEM Ambassador Network. And in Scotland, it is coordinated by CERC. So this is where, if you are interested in talking to pupils about your STEM experience or taking activities to school, this is probably the best way to go about doing it. You get fully trained in how to deliver to young people. Or alternatively, there's also local DYW groups, so that's developing the young workforce. And so there's a DYW North, Lochaber and Central in Highland. And they have this really good link between primary and secondary schools and STEM employers. So it's bringing the STEM employers to the schools and helping shape activities by linking the two. And obviously, we would love for you to promote our programme and to follow us and support us. So finally, thank you very much for listening, and I would be more than happy to answer any of your questions.
That's great. Thanks so much, Emma. We've had a couple of questions submitted already, but there's still time. So if you want to ask anything, Emma, anything, then just use your question box and we will get that to Emma. So firstly, from Leslie, she is asking, Emma, how successful have you been in delivering your programme to Highland schools?
Considering the last 18 months, there's been pretty much nothing. We've been really successful. So since the project started, we've had over 9,000 interactions with people. So this is a combination of the Newton modules that we've delivered, extracurricular events, teacher CLPL, and also delivery by other people. So other people using our Newton room. So over 9,000. From that, if we look at the Newton modules, and again, this is bearing in mind we've had 18 months of COVID restrictions, we have delivered 2,000 primary students and 2,400 secondary students and home educated students as well. So we've been doing really well. We've been lucky since going back this academic year. So since August, schools have really welcomed, as you know, we were unsure as to how things would be post-COVID, but we are having schools come to us. All of our Newton rooms are booked out, like 5 days a week. We've got bookings in some places, so it is going really well, and we've had really good feedback, from the teachers. And so between going back after the summer holidays and the October holidays, again, we're having a total of 1,400 interactions just in that short term. So it's really taking off. Our very ambitious ambition is to target approximately 10,000 P6 to S2 pupils. So that is every P6 to S2 pupil across Highlands. So 10,000 interactions a year, which, as long as we have no more interruptions from COVID, I'm pretty confident we'll be able to hit.
Wow, Emma, those numbers are amazing, especially post-COVID, and really encouraging that the schools are so are so eager to get back to a bit of normality. But
Absolutely.
that's amazing, those numbers. Well done.
Well done to the delivery team. I just get to sit at my desk here. It's the delivery team that do all the hard work.
Okay, well, keeping on to the kind of schools theme then, a question's come through from Joe. Have you had many challenges when it comes to interacting with schools and getting them on board, or any challenges?
Yeah, we've been really lucky. We anticipated it being more difficult to get schools on board and schools visiting than it has been. What we're doing to engage with schools is taking it from different levels. So we will engage with head teachers at head teacher meetings. We engage with the local teachers. I think one of the best things that we've done is employing a STEM engagement officer, so the person who's delivering, at each room. So each room has a face to it, and that is the person that gets in touch with their teachers. All of the Newton rooms have a catchment area. So when it's always the same person emailing you, inviting you back, corresponding with you, building up relationships, it's really helped. And again, for most of these, a lot of these regions, it's local staff that are working there as well. So people that are already from the communities, which again is really helping us. So we've had very, very good engagement with the teachers, thankfully.
Brilliant. That's great to hear. Another question in from from Iona. I've already done Leslie's one, sorry, from Iona. But before I ask that, just not a question, but Lisa has messaged in to say, wow, I'm so impressed with all your work. My S1 daughter very much enjoyed her half-day visit to the Dingwall Newton rooms last week. Thank you.
Oh,
which is
amazing.
Thanks for that message, Lisa. Iona, how has COVID impacted on your project?
It had a massive impact on us. We 16th of March, I know the exact date that we stopped everything, 16th of March 2020. Before that, we had our Thurso Newton room up and running full time. We had our Fort William Newton room running 3 days a week. And we were very close to getting our Dingwall Newton room refurbished and finished. And it just stopped us in our stride. You know, we were just kicking things off, and it stopped everything. So we continued doing things. We did not stop. We weren't able to do face-to-face hands-on things with pupils, but we didn't stop. We used that time to develop new modules. So we developed 4 new modules over the last year. We have worked on various other projects. We did a Maths Week box where, along with National Museums of Scotland, we funded a kit box that went to every single primary school in Highland, and it had 18 different activities in it, 18 different lesson cards and kits for the school, so it could be reused as well. So that went out to every school. We worked with the Highland Council on their Build Back Better programme, so we developed activities and online CLPL for teachers. And this was explaining to primary school pupils, why are we asking them to wash their hands? Why are we asking them to put a face mask on? So it's just explaining in terminology that children would understand why all of this stuff is happening to them and they're being asked to do all of these things. What else have we done? We developed our Peatlands module. So this, like I mentioned earlier, slowly bringing things back. I think it was after Easter, we got approval from the Highland Council to start seeing children schools, but it had to be outside. So this was our response to that as well. So although it stopped us doing what we should be doing, the face-to-face hands-on, it didn't stop the program, and we had a huge number of interactions. We were able to do a lot more teacher CLPL than we would have done otherwise. So we were able to use that 18 months constructively, and now we are just pushing full steam ahead now that we're actually back into having schools visit us.
Great, thanks Emma. Sounds like a busy 18 months for you, even though things stopped, you adapted and came up with some alternatives. So well done, you guys. Okay, I think we've got time, or we've got one last question in from Karen Green, and she is asking, in what areas are you looking for employers to get involved, Emma?
I would say anything that is sort of classed under that STEM umbrella. You know, we've got our 7 sectors that we're delivering modules in, so life science, health science, space, robotics, land-based science, renewables. So those are our key ones, but we're always looking at different fields and different ways to get involved. So I would say if anyone that is classed as STEM, we would be interested to speak to, and it's good to have these conversations. It might not be an immediate interaction that we have after that initial conversation, but we've always got this list of people in our minds that if something comes up, or if someone else's project comes up, we can point them in that right direction as well.
Great, thanks so much, Emma. Okay, I'm just going to pass back to Andrea, who will say the final few words. Thank you, Emma.
Yes, thanks, Emma. That was really interesting, and great to see the films and get a bit of a feel for what is really happening in the Newton rooms, I guess, and how many pupils you're actually engaging with. So that's amazing. And I just wanted to kind of finish today by pointing everyone towards our next webinar, already thinking to the future. We have our next webinar planned for the 26th of October. And as you can see on the screen, it's 2 people who will be joining us, Brian and Jude. And they'll be talking to us about the new Lyme app. It's basically an app, a tool that can help manage your exposure to ticks and Lyme disease. So very scientific, but I'm sure they'll bring it to life for us and explain to us a little bit about the development of the app and how that will all work together. So looking forward to that. Actually, that would be very interesting too. But thanks again to Emma for your time today. It's been great to have you. And yeah, please, in the audience, point anyone towards Emma and her team and her website and the social media channels who could be interested in getting involved in the future. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Andrea. That just leaves me to say, on behalf of Highlands and Islands Enterprise, thank you very much for a great session today, Emma, and a final big thank you to everyone that came in to join the webinar. Our post-event survey will pop up straight after this session, so if you can spare a couple of minutes, it would be great if you could complete that for us. Thank you very much for your time and enjoy the rest of your day.